Well, hello, friend. It's Robin, and as promised, periodically, as we are waiting for season two of Intentional Conversations with Robin May and friends, I am going to drop in just to share a few thoughts with you to keep us focused on elevating not just what we do, but who we are. Here's the deal. One of the things I've realized is we pay a lot of attention to making sure our hair is done and that our nails are done and that when we have something special to do, we get our makeup done. You hear what I just said when we have something special to do? But see, some people get their makeup done all the time. It drives me crazy. So if I have something special to do, I'll get me a face put on, honey. And that's important because you know how we act once our hair is done. Your girl has gotten herself a new hairdo, a new little hairstyle with color, and you can't tell me anything. And so I'm all about making sure you are looking good on the outside. But it's one thing to elevate what you look like, but you're not elevating who you are. And sis, I want you to make elevation, leaning in, paying attention to you, understanding you. I want you to make that as much as, if not more of a priority than you do that hair appointment that you are going to make sure you have. And so that's what we do over here on Intentional Conversations with Robin May and friends. We are focused on helping you elevate who you are. I am committed to helping you live life. If you have been rocking with me for a while, you know what live life stands for. Life is living intentionally, fully engaged. And so that's what we're doing over here on the podcast. But as you know, we are on a break, but we are coming back, and I've officially decided we are coming back in February. I believe previously I might have said January, but in true fashion of me honoring my values and making sure I am leaning in and hearing God and allowing my life to not feel as rushed and as pressed as it has in the past. I am really trying to prioritize flow and pacing myself. And so, with that in mind, I am going to relaunch season two in February with something super special. So, stay tuned. Okay. But as promised, periodically, I'm going to come and just share a couple of things with you. And so, if you are listening to this real time, like when I am recording it, if you are listening to it in the next couple of days, you know we are smack dab in the holiday season. As a matter of fact, we are a couple of days away from Christmas, and I cannot believe it. Again, you may be listening to this in 2026, but honey, this is December 2023 and we are nearing the holiday, and we've left Thanksgiving, we're about to enter Christmas, and then you still have New Year's. I want to share with you a couple of things, really three things to consider as you are planning to spend time with your family. Now, some of you are going to say, Robin, you should have dropped this for Thanksgiving, baby, because I could have used it then. But there are three things I want you to consider as you are prepping and preparing for the holiday with your family or even with your friends. As you know, honey, when we gather with our family and we gather with our friends, there can be a lot going on, right? Often, um, deep emotions can be triggered when you connect with family. You know, some of that childhood stuff starts to come up. That auntie says the wrong thing that sets you off, or a parent approaches you the wrong way, or maybe your sibling is driving you crazy. And I just want you to prepare in advance before you are in the setting. Now, if you've been rocking with me for a while, you know over here in my community, in my world, those of you who are growing with me, you know that we look in the mirror. We pay attention to ourselves. We understand that we cannot control other people. We understand that when we are triggered, more often than not, the trigger is about us. It doesn't mean that what the person is doing is right. It doesn't mean that they haven't tripped out. It doesn't mean that the trauma did not happen. When I say the trigger is about you, I am saying when you are triggered, your response is about you. Now, it's hard for me to move on from that because I know some of you aren't feeling it. If this is your first time over here, take a deep breath, girl. I'm with you. I'm on your side. I want you to imagine I have pom poms in my hand and I am cheering for you, but I'm just telling you what I know to be true. When you are triggered, when you have a response, your response is because of how you are processing, what you are feeling, the story you're telling yourself. Girl, even if the story is true, the trigger is about you. How do we know? Because all you have to do is find one person in your life that you highly respect but will tell you the truth. And just think about the course of your life. And if you share something with that person, some of the things you share with them, they would have the same response. But other things you share with them, they'll say, really? I wouldn't respond it that way. It doesn't make you right and them wrong or vice versa. It just speaks to the fact that our response is based on what we are processing, what we are understanding, what we have experienced. So I want you to hear me. I would never, ever intend or mean to minimize what you have experienced in your life, girl. Like I said, I'm on your side. I am team you. Team, fill your name in the blank, girl. And that's why I am telling you this because there is so much freedom, girl. There is so much freedom when you begin to recognize, wait a minute, I have the power. I can take the power back from those who I often am triggered by. Did you even hear how I said that? Because I almost said I can take the power back from those who trigger me. I want you to even rephrase it. I can take my power back from those whom I feel triggered, whom I often am triggered when I am encountering them. Okay, so what are we talking about very quickly today? So again, this is just a couple of minutes. I wanted to drop this in for you. Listen to this, girl, before you go to Christmas dinner. If you're listening to this well after Christmas, maybe y'all have Sunday dinner. This still applies. Maybe this is before you guys, what comes after New Year's Eve? What comes? I think it's Valentine's Day after that. Maybe before the summer vacation. There's no big holiday between Valentine's Day and the summertime, is it? Anyway, the next time you and your family gather, I want you to remember this. There are three things you must do if you want to get through the holiday or get through a highly triggering experience with more ease than you did last time. Here are three things I want you to do. Number one, I want you to anticipate. Now, girl, you've been with these folks before. You already know what goes down. I want you to take some time and really anticipate. Don't make anything up now, girl. Don't make anything up. But I want you to anticipate what are some things that often end up happening in these settings? What are some conversations that you may need to avoid? What are some situations that you know you have gotten in before when you are in those dynamics that you leave feeling like, gosh, I cannot believe I let myself get in that situation again. Now, hear me. I'm not talking about situations where somebody has um, taken advantage of you physically or anything like that. I'm talking about those intense conversations that you have, those debates that you have, those situations where that one person says that one thing that you already know they're going to say because they feel like I'm your great great grandmama. I can say what I want to say. I want you to anticipate those situations. And I want you to consider what you can do to avoid them if you can. Anticipate it. Often we go into these situations like we don't know what's already going to go down, girl. We know what's going to go down. So I want you to take some time to really anticipate what your triggers could possibly be. One of the things my sister and I often talk about, we often talk about our filter, right? We all have a filter through which we see things and hear things. And my sister's my person, and so often she understands whatever I'm triggered by. But sometimes she's able to say, "Now, sis, she didn't even mean that," or "Sis, now you kind of reading more into that than what may have been intended." And so it's important for me to know what are the filters I already have because there are certain things that I don't even need to allow myself to get exposed to because I already know how I am. So I want you to anticipate as much as you can. Now, number two, I want you to accept that the only person you can control is you. And boo, you don't always do a good job of controlling you. So I want you to accept that the only person you can control is you. When you are in these situations, I want you to be careful that you are not demanding, requiring, or maybe even expecting someone to show up in a certain way or someone to do something different than what they've always done. If they do, that's great, that's nice, but you cannot anticipate. Remember, we said, I want you to anticipate everything you can. You cannot anticipate or expect others to flow and function the way you require them to. So I want you to accept that the only person you can control is you. And just keep it real, boo. You don't even do a great job of controlling you all the time. So if we can accept that I can't control them, I'm going to release them to do and be how they want to do and be. Now, by my accepting it, I'm not accepting their behavior. I'm saying I'm accepting that I can't control their behavior. And so, baby girl, that moves us on to number three. So, number one, we're going to anticipate as much as we can. Number two, we're going to accept that the only person we can control is ourselves. And quite frankly, we don't always do a good job of that. And then number three, girl, we are going to adjust as much as we can. We're going to adjust. So I may not be able to control person A, B, C, or D, but I can show adjust how I function. I can adjust how I move. I can move myself out of situations. I can set boundaries in a way that are necessary for me. So I want you to adjust how you flow based on the scene you are peeping. I want you to adjust. In other words, another word for that, it just wouldn't go with my A's. So you see, I did anticipate, accept, and adjust. Another word for adjust is I want you to be able to go with the flow. I want you to be able to be flexible. You might have decided that you were going to stay somewhere for 5 days. Honey, if you know by day three it's getting a little shaky, you may need to adjust that. It may be that you need to go to an all day movie spree, that you're going to be going all day to the movies, honey, because you because you need some time to yourself. Whatever you have to do, I want you to be willing to adjust. In other words, be flexible. So, as you are preparing to spend time with your family during this holiday season, I want you to anticipate, I want you to accept, and I want you to adjust. Girl, that's it. I just wanted to drop in and share this with you. Listen, girl, if this helped you, can you share it with somebody? Can you send it out to your people? Tell them to do a, what do you call it when you are just, oh, girl, you know what I'm talking about when, y'all know I always have a brain freeze. I want you to listen to all the previous, somebody DM me and tell me what that's called. When you just binge, I want you to binge all of the episodes from season one. If you haven't caught up on all of them, get ready for season two. I'm gonna give you a sneak peek. I'm gonna talk about this on Instagram, I think next week. But season two, I think season two is gonna start out for all my single ladies. All single ladies, all single ladies. I think season two, we're gonna start out with our first series being for all my single ladies. I'm just giving you a sneak peek. All right, girl, that's it. I'll talk to you soon. Season two is coming up soon. Take care.